Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back to the Anno 1800 Megacity series to Crown Falls, a small fishing village at this point. And yeah, what a perfect time to join once again as a new day is dawning. The sun is rising over here. We can see the silhouette of the big Crown Falls castle up there that we can renovate at some point as well. And in this case, we continue onwards, of course, right away with the expansion of our town. We have a basic farmer population right now. I would like to start this episode right away with another mass upgrading. So let's just build this whole block here of farmers now that we have in addition. Now we want to start with some farming, right? And I've been thinking, where should we start with this? Of course up here, not where we should start with it specifically, but on what island. Now to me it makes sense because I'm always a big fan of city development, of cities that start small and develop then into something big, rather than planning a city with the industry somewhere else right away. It doesn't really make sense to me. So we do have the industry here and gradually we move them away, outsource them once the city can afford that. Right now the city wants to have the working class here, right? I don't have a worker commuter anyway, so I would need to build a second city, a third city at this point, just to get the potatoes over, and that's something I'm not going to do. So I hope you get what I mean with that. The city of Crown Falls has its own industry for now, and later on, once the people get more developed, right, moving away from an agricultural city to more an industrial and then a service-oriented city, then we can move the industry away. But right now we're farmers and then workers. It makes sense to have the farms and the processing here. We have lots of space, and I want to use this lots of space right away. So we have the potato farms here. These are just basic potato farms. I'm not going to upgrade them or anything like that. Once again, we're not going to use tractors for them. It's really all about some basic farming. And of course, we're going to need lots of potatoes. So I'm actually going to plan ahead with a whole bunch of them. A whole bunch of potato farms just up here, right? That will already do the trick. We're going to have another warehouse then up here. We might actually need 2 warehouses for all of this, and then more roads that we can use somewhere over there as well. All of this leads then, of course, to some schnapps distillery. Another thing is, some sheep farms. So I would like to also have this one up here then right away. We're going to need lots of sheep farms once again. In this case here, for once again also my sail makers, but also for any kind of production that we're going to need. Now with that, we have also our sheep farms ready for action. Another thing we definitely want to check out is my industry zone now here. So this is basically planned as an industry zone right away, but of course with not that much industry yet. We're going to make a triple road here again once more as an entry point, and then I'm going to, connecting them here will be a bit tricky. Just check it out if we can do this. There's not that much space around the cliffs. Perfect, right, so we have a bit of a space then here still available. And of course we want to also have a trade union plant somewhere in the center of this industry zone, one here, and then without overlapping, please. I'm not a big fan of radiuses. We can't get the corners in really, but it should still be fine having the 2 here. And then we're just going to start out with a warehouse somewhere around here, where this industry zone goes then into smaller streets, really, right, connecting then the edges of it. And let's just have our very first warehouse then here. And now we have something new. I do have the advanced schnapps distillery working for us. That is way faster than the original one, right? So the original one is produces 2 tons per minute, and this one here actually produces 12 tons per minute. However, it does require workers to function. I like this one a lot because it is ready for the needs of a megacity. In this case also it looks nicer, right? In that case we're using the smaller ones first, and we're going to replace them then with the big ones once we can do this, of course. Definitely very important. Let's squeeze in a fire station here. This is super important for anything related to distilleries. I'm going to have around 12 of them working for us right now. We could even work with another 3 here just to topple this off. Very good. We can also have in the same area here our framework knitters. So I'm going ahead with yet another warehouse then up here by the trade union, and then we should be able, that's a bit tight perhaps, should be able then to use 2 of these here together. Let's actually keep a bit of distance here, right? There you go. to have then also our framework knitters set up. This is going to be quite a lot of production, obviously. Yeah, let's actually go ahead and start with that. Having all of this ready, and let's start with the first, yeah, 4 really. I wanna really get started quickly on all of this. And with that, we can also afford then the first, let's make 3, because of course, as we also know, we are going to need a sailmaker. And I'm actually planning with, let's make 3 sailmakers for now, because we definitely want to start a nice big ship production at some point. Newspaper guy, we can almost go into full propaganda soon, right? So I'm going to keep this one here. I mean, we could actually go ahead with that, but I don't want to use too much propaganda early on. It is reducing our reputation quite a bit with my AI opponents, so Bente Jorgensen especially doesn't like it. And of course, we want to quickly go into sailmaking and quickly into weapon production, because the AI will not slumber that long. And down here, I'm also going to start with 3 schnapps distilleries right away. And we are going to, just over here, get us those 3 potato farms going as well. Lots of timber consumption already with that. But with that, we already have now everything ready then to start the worker population. I can already go ahead and continue with my next industry planning that we have. And that is then up here for my first clay farm. So this is like we've done in Sleepy Hollow, right? It's basically the same. This time we're using a bigger scale, right, for all of this. This time around, we really want to go into mass production. So we as a company, we learned with our first city, right? And now we have the mandate of the crown directly. And in this case, we have the means, we have the financial support at the moment to support all of this, to really go into large scale city development with all of this. And just as this day is about to be coming to an end, we have farmers ready to upgrade. And let's do this right away and get us the first workers into Crown Falls, which is now a port town on its very long journey towards the mega metropolis. Let's just get these guys in here. And with that, workers are moving in. I would like to use once again a different skin for Crown Falls. We're not going with the colorful anymore though, right? No, with any wooden skin, so not with the old steel and not with the Halloween style. We are going to wait for Halloween. I'm going with the brick building around again, right? Some of you have been actually probably a bit bored by it by now. I love it. It's my favorite skin in this game for workers, artisans, all the way up to the skyscrapers, right? So we're going to go with a brick theme there once more, really. Let's also go ahead with more upgrades over there. What I can see though is, yeah, timber is my main problem. We have the work population now in for starting the brick production. However, timber it is. So let's go ahead and actually go ahead and, yeah, copy us my whole timber production as the, oh, yeah, as it's getting a bit dark here. And I would like to start with another timber production. Let's just see that we can do it quite easily. Let's set up the blueprint, right? Let's get the road down here to make the road connection up. And then here we also have a nice clay deposit that we can use then as well. And by the way, from up here, you have a beautiful view over the city, looking in the distance as a new day is coming up. Of course, right now, we don't see that much. But from here, we can safely see the progress over time. Now, there is my clay deposit. Let's actually also connect the iron deposit that we have up there right away and start the third clay production then here. All right, so that's once again the clay pit and the 2 brick factories. We have the timber, so let's start with the second plank production now. So with that, we're really pumping out now planks. 32 tons per minute. Of course, we are going to cap at them eventually, but it's better to cap at them than not having any planks and thus reducing your expansion with that. One thing that we do in Sleepy Hollow is actually loading in weapons, steel beams, bricks for, not for Crown Falls, but for Manola, because Manola right now is defenseless, and Manola is my second megacity that we construct, of course, in the new world. In this case, we do need some proper defenses, so let's get my Athena, my Royal Clipper, over, leaving the port of Sleepy Hollow right now. That looks rather secure to me. Sleepy Hollow is pretty much done for development right now, as I've already said. We could still go in and upgrade a few more people to workers here, just so that I use the maximum potential of my production industry that we have right now. So something over here. And it's really just a cash cow for me at this point, right? So yeah, Sleepy Hollow produces lots of money for us that we definitely want to use. So the balance of Sleepy Hollow is 3,000 almost, right? So it's almost all of my positive balance that we have right now comes out of Sleepy Hollow. All of my profit there, mostly. And of course, we need to secure that. Let's make sure that Athena gets there safely. So we are Osthoven first, right? And from here we jump then to Manola, as always. And while we're here, I would like to build another Royal Clipper, because we have the means to afford this. Back to Crown Falls, really. It is, yeah, early morning at the moment. The second timber production is in full swing. This allows me now to start with my brick production, finally. Going out of the blueprint mode. And I will definitely, now that we're looking at that, also add me a nice fire station just here. To support this area, to secure this area against any incoming fires, and I would like to do the same thing then up here for my second brick area and timber production, of course. Now those lumberjacks, yeah, they're going to take some time. First we need to plant some trees. The details of this game still stagger me. Planting some trees step by step manually. Every single person needs to work on that before we can start chopping down some stuff. And this is the beginning of a great tree. There you go. Let's also get brick production number 2 up and running. Wanna pump out those bricks ASAP. It is also time to work on the heavy steel industry. We're going to use it for now in the harp area. Of course, this is a high pollution industry that is not going to stick around. But still, for the sake of realism, I really would like to do this here, just so that we, you know, that people get sick of the smoke and then we have to do something about that. I love that transition as always. Yeah, let's start here. We are going to need quite a few of them, so we can actually start ahead with 8 right away. This is tricky though, so we're going to leave a road between, because if one of them catches fire, all of them would be catching fire. And with this, we can spread out the risk a bit, right? And these furnaces, they are prone to fires. I think here we're not doing that anymore. So here we can actually have then a second warehouse. I would also like to work on some service buildings here. So once again, a fire station that we can safely squeeze in. And in this case here, also what we will need is a police station. Yeah, probably not that skyscraper police station though. Something over here that works for us, right? And of course another warehouse then over here just beside the trade union. Let's move that one up a bit, get us this warehouse in, right? And just beside all of this, because that's a lot of steel obviously, we're going to also have then our steel works. And once again, high pollution, and let's just make sure that they're looking into the right direction. 4 of them should be fine for now. Let's actually move them a bit further over, right, so that we have the space here for the warehouses that we're going to need. I can't get any further than that, so definitely would like to do something like that. And we definitely will also need quite the fire stations here, as there's lots of heavy industry. Also beside that is of course the weapon production. This I could actually have along the river right now. Let's start with 4. That should be a safe bet. Alright, so this is that. We should be able, we have lots of planks. Let's go ahead and upgrade more people. Go crazy on this. And also finish more farmers. Right, so Crown Falls grows rather quickly right now. In the old world, in the meantime, I'm pretty sure my clipper has arrived. So we are now going to send it to Manola. Safe journey. You're going to need it, but it's a fast one. Look at that. It will be hard to catch if you want to really catch it. Leaving the old world down here right away. We also have a new royal clipper. Do we have a quest? Ah, yeah, we have the no gods, no masters down there, but it's far away. We have the pirates and mishunt at this point. We have the weapon production. Let's go ahead and build me another frigate as well. Back to Crown Falls. Yep, bricks are coming in. Timber is coming in. Let's work on my 3rd brick production now. So that's over here. Costing me a lot of workers, but that's going to be worth it. And let's also upgrade more. And fish is the first that needs some reinforcement down here. In my small fishing port, that is, of Crown Falls. On the very next day, we continue with expansion. We're finishing all the farmer buildings. A lot of people at this point want to move into Crown Falls. They heard of the opportunities here, so we need to plan ahead with more districts, of course, right away. So once again, we can actually go then with some smaller courtyards here, right, that we have then. And then also, of course, the big blocks that I would like to have more like in the center then here. In this case, we need to be a bit careful because of course we also want to plan out some railway systems that we need. So in that case, the railways will need also a central station. I'm planning for this, and we need to connect, of course, most of the city together with also the industry zone. So the oil harbor is probably going to be somewhere over there. I don't want to have it in my main industrial zone, and that means that it could then go out here somewhere, the train. And then here. For the train, however, we will need around, 4 tiles, right? Because we want to have double tracks and then also some buffer between the tracks and any kind of buildings and stuff like that. So if I go ahead with this, we should be safely ready to plan out my railway. So this is the railway that we're separating here now. And we're going to have then the railway going here, right? And then probably connecting there with the main road somehow to get into the industry zone. And in this case, just need to make sure when we have a crossing like here that we plan it out like this, and it goes then also all the way down here. So we want to have a railway, of course, going through all of it, and also here through the center, which is going to be the biggest challenge, I think. For this, let's just check it out. Here we have the main avenue again. Now the main avenue we already have laid out as well. It's this one, and that's also going to be the tricky one. Getting interrupted right now with Athena coming into the new world, into Manola. As we can see, defenseless. And in that case, I really want to work on that as well, as quickly as possible. How many tons of weapons have I just sent over here? Yeah, that's okay. We can afford 1 flamethrower with that. This is the most powerful harbor defense you can have against wooden ships for the foreseeable future. So it's going to last us quite some time. And that we can also complement then with a normal cannon tower in the front, most likely, to work as a buffer, right? And we can even go ahead with another one then here, as we do have the weapons. Let's actually get it a bit closer there, because we can have it then towards the main area there as well. And yeah, we can also build some schooners now in the new world. I would like to go ahead with this, as we can also sell them nicely on top of everything else. Plus we need some ships, of course, in this region. And by the way, also I would like to secure this area while we can. Yeah, there's the pirate, but the royal clipper should be fast about this. Let's go in and take me some timber, and then also the steel beams that we need for the settlement. Actually, let's go ahead and settle on 2 islands right away. The 2 closest ones to Manola. This one here is just also beautiful. And before Miss Hunt is right in front of Manola, we should do this. However, it's going to be defenseless, of course. That's the biggest issue for it for a while. Yeah, it's dangerous here. Look at that. There's also the pirate right away, closing in already on my royal clipper. The moment I leave port. But at some point a window presents itself and we can get out. Let's quickly move to this island here. This is just way too valuable as an island, right? And let's also take the materials back again and immediately get to this island here as well. This one is very rich in natural resources, like oil, for example. And this one on top of that has the building space and the fertilities that we are going to need. So, all rather powerful. Yeah, there's a ship. But the royal clipper should be faster. It is. Perfect. Let's just hope there's so many pirates here, unfortunately. There's another one down there already. Still being chased by Sean. I don't care if I lose that ship. It has a huge hole already. And it looks fantastic that it can still sail under these conditions. Yeah, getting chased by Sean there all the way here. And let's immediately settle. Very good. Sean will not take the islands, of course. And let's stay here and just hope that he will actually back off. Otherwise, we're going to lose that ship, of course. It doesn't look like he's backing off. Yeah, he's going to destroy my clipper. There's no chance, really. It's fine. We can build a new one. Very aggressive they are. They're not even threatened by the harbor area. Look at that. There's more closing in. Oh, is he? He's backing off now. Looks good. Looks very good. I mean, my clipper's burning at this point. He's coming in and closing the deal now, I think. It was an honor. But he's really not letting go. Unfortunately.
Ship was destroyed.
Now what is he doing now? Is he actually attacking my harbor area? This is very unusual behavior for a pirate. You should not be doing this. Alright, but he's backing off at some point, because even a ship of the line is not able to single-handedly take out a small trading post. But it was close. And very unusual too. Usually they don't really attack those. Now we can, of course, go ahead in the old world right away and just continue with some more frigates. I would like to start with construction of 2. In Manola, I've just seen that we can actually go ahead and build me, yep, the Royal Clipper that we just lost once more here already. And in Crown Falls, a new clipper comes in, bonus with lots of building materials so that we can speed up our expansion. Because I would like to do this, of course, right here. I'm going ahead with more blocks of houses. Here then, a few more. All the way up. Let's just build all of them right away for the 120 tons of timber that it costs me. We can immediately unload the timber that we have to also go ahead and upgrade more people now to workers. These guys here. These guys here. For a very nice fast expansion. Let's just get the next 100 tons of timber out so that we can immediately continue. There is a main road, right, that we have then all the way down to the tourism area, so we're going to probably close it as close to the shore as possible here. And with that we have another block of housing here that we can satisfy right away. And yeah, let's also go for some high density. Here is probably the airport area later on, so I'm going to wait here, right? So we're going to close it here, and this area is off limits for now, because it's most likely going to be the airport. So I definitely also want to keep a bit of a distance to it. Now we have the workforce, and we have the materials. Oh, we are very, very negative now. So let's just go in and finish me the next 4 schnapps distilleries and the next 3 framework knitters. And with that, we're also going to need another 4 potato farms right away. These guys here. And we're also going to get me another 3 sheep farms right away. Right. We can afford all of this right now. Money is fine. We're closing in on 10,000 people there. So securing this production is no props. And what we definitely also want to do, we have the steel beams in, activate our steel production, right? For that, we actually have lots of iron deposits, and also, that's great, lots of coal deposits. And we should be able to use them already. There it is, very nice, because they're producing 4 tons of coal per minute, way faster than a charcoal burner, and they really just need those slots. There's 2 of them here, while there's also 2 of the iron deposits here that we can activate. And let's go ahead and use our road connections then immediately to get them going. Let's have a warehouse here. Let's also have a warehouse here for delivery. Start with 1 here, 1 here. And with that, we've also started with the mining industry on Crown Falls. A new type of workers is sought now and is wanted now. And that means more people would like to live here because there's jobs available. With that, let's also activate our steel production. Now we can actually use 2 furnaces for the 2 mines that we just built, right? That's a lot of steel. And we can use then here my steel beam factory, and I would also like to start with the weapon production right away. Yeah, and we can immediately see it is getting dirty. And because it is getting dirty, and because this is a rather dangerous industry, we should also start building a wall to it. And we do have the money. That means some nice brick production, brick walls, and yeah, it's actually not that expensive, right, in comparison to what we already have. Now, I've adjusted the railway network a bit, so it's moving actually here now through the industry zone. It makes a bit more sense, right? Oh, we have sank a ship. That's new to me. Probably a defense or something. And by the way, over here I can see, yep, Miss Hunt has settled on this island now too. It's a good island actually. It has some natural resources on it. We may consider settling on these two here too while we have the chance for it. So let's actually use my royal clipper there right away. Get us some timber on board. And then also some steel beams. I don't need the bricks, but it's fine. Just to settle here really quickly, right, to get this done. Now the railway goes then here, over the river, and then up here, so we can go around the downtown area as much as possible. We still have an entry point here then somewhere for a nice Grand Central Station that I would like to have, right? And then we can actually continue all around here, around the city, because I would definitely like to have a loop around the city. That also makes sense then to me. Very good. In this case, let's just finish off the railway here then as well. So it goes then in here, as close as possible to the airport, of course, and then up here, right? This is where we're going to have then our network. Very good. All the way up here. Looks very chaotic right now. I'm pretty sure it's going to look amazing at some point later. And here we do have then our main road that continues also down to the harbor area, of course, where we're going to have the big tourism port then at some point. All right, so this means we have plenty of room here to continue with the expansion. And yeah, I'm just going ahead really, and I'm going to copy me some more blocks. All right, this makes the most sense. Trust me, at some point you will not see the repetitiveness of this anymore, as we're just going to fiddle around with that city so many times, so many more times, that all of this will make sense at some point. This is all very high density zone here that I would like to have, right? So we might actually make this one huge continuous block with, yeah, a bit of a garden then in the center of it, right? These buildings here. Also, it will be a nice panorama effect later on with the skyscrapers that we can then also add here. And let's have more here. And this could be one giant block, or we just make it like that. That's also fine. And we do not even have the timber for all of this right now. So I might actually just go ahead and finish those guys. There you go. As the next expansion. Now, of course, we're getting also a bit out of the loop here. So I would like to use this central service block that we have and move it a bit further over here, right? So that we can then add more people to that. Let's just see where we can get the optimum out of it. So this is just based on my feelings. I don't take any credit for precision. And we're just going to have this one here then. That's the next service area. And we definitely will also need one down here for these guys by the airport. So I could use something like, yeah, this makes sense to build it here, right, for the buildings then here. And we definitely will need then one on the other side of the avenue too. And let's just make sure that we have it somewhere here. Close to the main road makes the most sense to me. Something like that. Very good. So we can actually make this main road already going over, right? And with that, we can expand now here safely with all the needs fulfilled for these guys. Ship is under attack. We're down here and we have discovered Miss Hunt's main island in Cape Trelawney so far. All the way in the south, as far away from us as possible. That's great news. But immediately let's try to get out of here. And also Hugo Mercier has already the big buggers on the way. That's, yeah, normal, I guess. We don't even have them yet. I'm close to having scouted all of Cape Trelawney at this point. Let's settle on the next island, by the way, on the other side, please. That's my mistake. It's a shorter route then to Crown Falls, right? Timber is not really coming in that quickly, right? Despite having so much timber production now. I'm actually inclined to go for yet another timber industry, right? And we're going to set it up somewhere up here on this plateau for now, right? Once again, this is not the final plank production ever. But at least for now. And that leads now to 48 tons of timber that is being produced. Right, I'm not using any work time increase. And perhaps we can stick it like that. Keep it like that. Here we have the main road number 2, the smaller main road, right? That goes away from the main avenue. And in this case, we may consider going up like this. Can I actually... that's tight. That's a bit too tight for my liking. We may need to do it here. Because then I can actually squeeze in some 2 buildings there. Alright, so if I have my main road here, we would need to, however, adjust them somehow. This looks like crap now, obviously. So we're going to move this one down. And I'm going to get rid of that one again to keep this one tidy. And here is going to be a bridge anyway, right? So here we could actually do it like that at some point. Or let's actually do it now. So this is fine then. And here we move up. And here we can now have then blocks of houses once more. And this whole area. At this point, we also will need way more fish again. So I'm actually inclined to build me a warehouse here somewhere. That has then a key going out, right? And along this key, we can then have some of those fisheries. And the cool thing is we should be able to align it like this. And also like this. Perfect. With an upgrade to my artisans, I would also like to go in now and start building the first ship of the line. So the big warships we can finally push out. We got then 3 frigates here already, plus the ship of the line 4 frigates, sorry, and we're going to send this over to Crown Falls for immediate security. Yeah, nothing else though I would like to do in the old world. While we wait a bit on materials in Crown Falls, we can actually go ahead and of course continue with the expansion also in Manola. So this of course is going to be one of the big challenges, managing 2 cities. In that case, we need to... yeah, just do it. There's nothing else I can actually say about this. We just need to focus and get those cities going without too much of a trouble there. In this area, there is the next main road, right? So we can have then here. And that means over here, I'm able then to squeeze in another marketplace some over there, just along the main road really, right? And here we can have then those blocks. Here we can have a chapel or church area. Let's keep this main road because we might have something over here then at some point. And then a few more buildings here. Just along the river up there. But of course, Manola will always orientate itself around Crown Falls. So it will of course be in a close contract, a close trading alliance with Crown Falls, so both of them will prosper from each other down the road. In Crown Falls, in the meantime, we can continue with the expansion. Let's build way more farmers here, consuming the rest of my timber. With that, we've also breached 10,000 people. That's another next beautiful milestone. And while we wait of all of that for more building materials to come in, we should also work a bit on storage, right? That is something we don't have anymore, or we're getting at least capped on storage quite quickly. So we can use now with these medium depots here that we have, and each one of them provides then 50 tons of storage. So if I have a block of this like here, we actually get 200 tons of additional storage out, and I would like to do the same thing on that side too, right? And let's actually start building at least 2 of them for now for another 100 tons of storage capacity. And once again, we need to work on some industry, right? So we have the workers now prepared, and now we can work on the artisan industry. By the way, before we do that, let's settle. And let's also get my building materials again and get them to this other very small island. It's practically useless to us, right? I mean, it has some coal, some copper on it, and even a clay deposit, but it is useless other than that. It doesn't have any space or so. In this case, what we can do with it, though, is working as a strategic location, of course. If Miss Hunt would settle here, or Benton, she declares war on us, she would be right in the middle of our territory. And all of our trade routes here could get disrupted by the harbor defenses, or will get disrupted. So we definitely want to settle here too, to secure this tiny area there. That's actually its most important value.
Just say the word.
There you go. And with that, let's just take this away and get back to Crown Falls with all of this. Alright. In this case, that we have a bit more space here, that I would like to squeeze in some more buildings again. High density it is mostly in this area, of course. And yeah, this also works out fantastically, except for the last part then here. What could we have here? Of course, a park. So let's actually not build anything there and just squeeze us in then a nice smaller park in this area. As this city, of course, is going to have lots of parks. The factors going to decline. We don't need the money, and I don't want to risk my reputation there with my relationship with Hugo. Right, with that we finished all the farmhouses now. Actually up here, let's finish also the marketplace and the pub. Level 29 it is. And with that we can also finish this area. In that case I would like to probably reserve this bigger area for the central station then. Makes sense to me, honestly. Right, there's already the train coming in then, and it might then just lead into this central location there, so we don't need to erase anything. Or even though moving buildings is actually rather easy anyway. Over here we can actually also have another bigger block, I think. Perfect. Then we just squeeze in like that towards this area. Now, as we continue with the avenue expansion over to this area, I would like to work here then on my next industry zone. And that, of course, is the grain farms and the pig farms. For the pig farms, we might actually want to have them a bit further in the back, or also up here. No, let's have them a bit further in the back, so somewhere over here we can work on them. And here we can use our grain farms, right? So we're going to need lots of grain also for the beer production. This is all going to take a lot of space, so let's just see how close we can actually get with this to the potato farms. I would like to get as close as possible. There you go. And with that we can actually just squeeze in our grain farms then here. One more. And this one has its... Actually, is it full? No. There you go. Now it has all its capacity. Right. And yeah, we could probably take the whole thing and squeeze it in on the other side as well. Why not? It's possible. In that case, let's move the warehouses though down. This one a bit further up. We're going to need like 3 warehouses for this. Right. There's the main avenue then. I don't know what we do with it yet, so we'll just see. And actually, let's use a couple of them down here as well, like this. Just along the main avenue, really, we can squeeze in this next block. Once again, this is not its final destination, right? We're going to get, of course, theirs at some point. For now, let's just start with them. And in this case here, I'm going to have it separated from the bread production, obviously. Let's start with the first 4. Getting painted over here in their beautiful colors. I love it. Really beautiful. And in this case, let's move them out here then, the industry zone. We have already the basic farmer industry here, so we can just, yeah, attach the workers to that as well. For that, we are going to need some flowers, flour mills. This makes sense along the cliffs, right? It's windy up here. And since none of this is final, we can actually just work around there a bit and have our flour mills then here just set up along the banks. Right, I think this looks fantastic then. It's a lot of flour we can produce here, and this then leads to bakeries. Now the bakeries I definitely want to have close to a trade union, because we can actually then combine it with a chocolate production on top of everything else. So let's have our bakeries here, and yeah, we're going to need quite a few bakeries. Let's just see how we can squeeze them in nicely into this zone. So actually, if I think go with a block of 2 each. There you go. We can actually make a nice block of bakeries here. And everybody wants bread, so we're going to need lots of them too. There is then here the main avenue, and there is also here the train, of course, right? So let's actually continue with our wall that we have then just along here, the industry zone leading all the way up to this area. Here's then the train area, and then we have the bakeries with a bit of a buffer towards it as well. This should work out nicely. And let's also have, of course, more warehouses then in the surrounding area. Let's actually build 2 flour mills right away, all of this, and then also 4 bakeries that work the bread. Makes sense to have this as close to the city as possible, because people like to get some bread, of course, right away. And there's my flour mills. Fantastic. Yep, the next industries are starting up. Crown Falls is getting bigger as more people would like to join. And we continue onwards in the next episode. Stay tuned.
Ship constructed.